Okay, so I have a 30 plus 30, I think it's like 36-minute version of building this deck. So if you want like really in-depth analysis of like my decision making, watch that. I'm going to try and make a shorter one, like 6 or 7 minutes of this deck. This is the season one. It's an attack deck, and it uses the Kageyama and Hinata synergy. So we're just gonna like dive right in, and I'll show the deck. So I run 4 of this. I think this is probably the best card in the game right now because it does it does 2 things and there's no cost at all. Like a lot of cards, there's a cost, either paying guts or discarding a card. For this, just using it, you get the special. If this card is in the toss area, add +1 attack to a Hinata or a character with 3 or less attack. So in this deck, 99% of the time you'll be attacking with Hinata. So you just get the +1 for free, and then the toss is 1. So from this one card, you're getting +2 attack. And it has like a decent serve. The stats aren't that good, but you're always going to be tossing with this, and like every chance you can get, you want to toss with this. So it's really good. So there's 4 of it. So for the synergies to work, you need to have a lot of Kageyama and a lot of Hinata. So this is a really good Kageyama because it has the toss again, which is important because your attacks need to be as high as possible every time. So if I'm not tossing with this one, I want to toss with someone who has +1 here. And then also the 4 serve. The games I've played with this, the 4 serve scores a lot more than you'd think. It's kind of hard to deal with, especially like the very first turn of the game. You've only ever had like 6 cards in your hand. You have no guts to like help you out. If someone just throws a 4 serve, like it lands a lot more than you'd think. This is one of my favorite cards because the 4 receive is really good. Like the highest printed receive is 4 or 5, and there's only like 2 cards right now that can do that. So 4 is really good. And then it draws cards, and it's not like a card that you're just cycling cards, like a special card that draws 1. You're going to use this to receive anyway, and then if you have guts, you can pay 2 guts to draw a card. Any cards that pay 2 guts to draw a card, I really, really like because card draw is so important. So yeah, I really like this card. Right now, like every deck basically has 4 of these. It adds +1 to your receive, which is super helpful, especially when there's not a lot of things to like bump your receive up, and it draws a card. So it's kind of like a free card because you're cycling and you get a bonus off of it. So I'm a huge fan of this Do Your Best card. A really important card in the deck is this Quick Attack. So it only works with the Kageyama and Hinata synergy, but we'll zoom in. Add +1 to your attack. If your toss character is Kageyama and your attack is Hinata, the opponent cannot block. Unblockable is really important. I just built like a full block deck. If they attack every time with this, like it basically can shut me down. So this is like really good. It's hard to it's hard to pull off. You're really going all in when you use this though, because it doesn't draw a card. So you need to really have that good attack. Like you don't want to use this on like a 5 attack or something. You want to make sure it's big. And in playtesting, we had an 8 attack with it and a 9 attack, and they can stack. So we run 4 of these. This card, if your toss character is Kageyama, which it almost always is going to be, add +1 toss. So like just for an example, if you're tossing with him, you're getting +1 toss, +1 if it's going to Hinata, and +1 for the toss. So these 3, you're already at 3 to your attack, and you're not even adding your attack yet. So it's really good. And you may discard one card to search your discard pile for a Hinata and draw it. So as we see some of the Hinata cards, you can see like using those over and over is really good. So that's a good card. There's the serve. I think I only run 2 of this. Here's just another Kageyama because he has to be tossing. And it's pretty good because if this card is tossing and Hinata is attacking, which hopefully it is, you may pay 2 guts to add +1. And the opponent may only use 1 blocker. So it's very similar, other than the 1 blocker thing, which isn't that important. But it's similar to this Kageyama because you're getting a +1, so it's a 2 toss, which is it's both good. But this one's better because you don't have to pay 2 guts. So it's still good because it gets you what you want, but you're paying guts. This card, right now in season 1, it's almost unfair how good it is because it's a 4 receive, which is the second highest printed receive, and if your deck is all karasuno, so karasuno only, when this card is the top of the receive pile, guts, and you play a card in the receive area that isn't Nishinoya, add +2 to your receive. So basically, if he's received, the last turn, all your other characters get +2 to the receive for free. So like he would be at 6, which is huge. He'd be at 5, 3, 2, or whatever. It's just a huge bonus, and it's for free because it's just sitting there. So I really love this card. I'm a huge fan of this card. So you obviously almost all the synergies are Kageyama tossing and Hinata attacking. This is a really good Hinata because he has 3 attack. Most of his cards are just base 2, and you have to do other things to get it higher. But the fact that this is 3 off the bat, and with this you're at 5 attack, and you didn't play any extra cards like these 2, so it's just huge. And then he also turns into a 5 receive, because his receive is pretty good. Did we look at? If you're receiving, search your toss area guts for a Kageyama and draw it. If you do, you may search your special card area for a card that isn't a copy of this card, and draw a copy of it. So most of the time what you're going to do is you're going to play this to get a Kageyama. You want this Kageyama, and then like you'll recycle this usually to draw a card and boost your receive. So it's a pretty good combo. We know this, we know that. There's a lot of 4-ofs in this deck, so finally another Hinata. So this one is, if this card is attacking, you may discard 1 card to add +2 to your attack. I don't run 4 of this because while getting 4 attack is really nice, like it's really expensive. But sometimes you just have to do it. So when you're going all in, let's look at an example. Let's say you're tossing here, so you're at 2, and then attacking here, so you're at 2. Maybe let's say you have one of these, so you have unblockable. Let's say we received with him. So we would have an unblockable 2, 4, 5, and then you can discard another card. Let's say we discard that to put it to 7, which is like really good. But you've used 1 to toss, or 1 to receive, 1 to toss, 1 to attack, 1 special, and 1 to discard. So 5 cards. It's almost your whole hand for 1 attack. That while it's unblockable, like 7, it's possible to hit a 7, to receive a 7. And so that's why I don't like discarding for that. I'd rather pay guts. But yeah, it's pretty good. I can already tell this video is going long. We'll try and hurry. We'll center this more. So here is it's kind of the other version of this. If this card is attacking and Kageyama is in the toss here, you may pay 2 guts to get +2 attack. So this is a little cheaper in my opinion because of the guts, but yeah. I think probably we've looked at all the cards. Oh, I think there's just a 1 of this. Search your discard pile for a Hinata and a Kageyama, and you may draw 1 of each. So it's really nice because if for whatever reason he's in your discard pile and like he's in your discard pile, it's huge. But getting them into your discard pile is like 4, 5, or 6 turns away. Like if you draw this early, you have a dead card basically. It's hard to get things in your discard pile. But when you do pull that off, it's really nice. I went over this, but let's go over it again. If your toss character is Kageyama, add +1 toss, and you may discard 1 card, search your discard pile for a Hinata and draw it. So it's basically getting +1 and then searching for that right Hinata that you might need if he's in your discard pile. Maybe it's the guts one, maybe it's the discard one, maybe it's just the base one, but it's pretty nice. I think that's a whole deck, the attack deck. It's fun to play. It's probably one of the strongest kind of decks right now, just because of the synergies and the use of like the best cards. But yeah, definitely try it if you get a chance, or make some tweaks. Let me know if you made changes and like it better. I'll stop it here because I already have a 36-minute one on this deck. All right, thanks.